Cue your call up. We are going to go to phones. 866-300-9298. 866-300-9298. I know this is a big travel week for a lot of folks, a lot of people moving around, listening in the car. But feel free, if you want to call in, this would be a good time to do it. 866-300-9298. Stock futures are up right now as we wait for the market to open up in about 7 minutes. So we will watch that. But right now, stock futures are up. So we'll wait. I'll give you the lowdown on that as soon as we get in. So one of the big questions is, is the market growing? Yes. Okay. We see the market growing maybe. Well, it's not growing this year, but has it been growing? Yes. Is the economy good? And it's very, very interesting because Jack Lew, our Treasury Secretary, was talking last week and he was mentioning some things about the economy and how well the economy is. But it was very interesting because he put no meat to the bone, no detail. He was making some general statements. But as he was making a general statement about the economy doing okay, right, he was also saying that the economy's not so good or it needs improvement. This is one thing that he said. Clip 170, Devin.
If you look at the IMF's World Economic Outlook that was released yesterday, it shows that amongst the developed countries, the United States is leading the economic recovery. So I think we're doing our part. We took tough decisions, 6 years ago, and we stuck with them. We have our economy growing. We reformed our financial system. We have our fiscal house in a much better place, and we have growth that is, by world standards, doing very well. As you know, by our standards, we still have a lot of work to do. As long as there are millions of Americans who want to work full-time or want to find jobs who can't, we're not done with our work. But when you look at the world, the U.S. is a strong driver of growth.
You see what he's saying? If you look at the world, how many times have you heard me say that we are the best horse in the glue factory? That doesn't make us good. If we were good, we wouldn't be in the glue factory. It doesn't we're looking at a hurting, terrible world economy. We have third world nations that are struggling. We have developing nations struggling big time from an economic standpoint. And we've got other developed nations that are still not even close to being out of the woods yet. And neither is the United States of America. I hate to say it, Jack. But when you look at the world, the U.S., we still have a lot of work to do. Really. We still have a lot of work to do? Yeah, we still have a lot of work to do. There's millions of Americans, as you've just stated, that are working part-time that need to be working full-time and want to be working full-time. We just had out on Monday a new record number of people collecting food stamps. Is that an issue? We just had come out that the poverty rate in America continues to go up. That's not good. And we're nowhere near to getting our fiscal house in any kind of order. And frankly, we're not going to be able to as long as we continue this spending that we see that is just totally out of control. 866-300-9298. You're listening to Financial Issues. I'm Dan Celia. Let me go to Bob. Bob's calling us from Arkansas. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Dan. How you doing this morning?
Good.
Hey, yeah, question for you. I'm a Air Force veteran, 30 years, and 2 years worked with the post office afterwards. And I am invested in the thrift savings plan. Just curious, how should I? And also, I'll be 62 this year. But how should I position that TSP at this current time? And my second question is, I've been listening to you quite a while, and on foreign currencies, what's a good source for looking into purchasing some foreign currencies to have on hand?
Well, the good source, Bob, that, I recommend them only because I've used them for a number of years and I've never had any issues. Any foreign currency that I've gotten online. They mail it to you, and I get it. Their fees are a lot less expensive than most. And it's called the letter Z, Forex, EZ, Forex.com. And they're located I think they're in Waco, Texas. And you can go to the website, ezforex.com. You put in the amount of money you want to spend on, let's say you want to get, you've got $500 and you want to buy Swiss francs. So you put $500 US, and then you put Swiss francs, and it converts it, tells you how much you're going to get in Swiss francs, and then you decide whether you want to purchase it or not, and they mail it to you. So you get a FedEx envelope, and it's in there. So that's who I recommend on that. As far as your TSP, Bob, let me ask you this: when do you see yourself needing to draw from that TSP to supplement your income?
Well, currently, I had to quit working for the post office a couple of years ago. I had an injury, and it was a pretty disabling injury that took about a year to recover from. But the doctor told me that big picture, that if you do this again, it's going to be another operation that will fuse the bone area, and you won't be able to do what you were doing before. So from a quality of life aspect, and I have plenty of retirement money, I elected to not work there anymore. So didn't want to quit at that time, but I looked at the big picture, like I said. So anyway, I'm drawing military retirement and also disability income from the military. So I'm set as far as paying all my bills and everything. Have about $300,000 in between the TSP and the IRA. So I don't see myself needing to use any of that money for supplemental to my other income anytime for the next few years.
Okay. So with that in mind, I would probably right now, at least for the next year or so, or unless we see a dramatic correction sooner than a year from now, we're going to see one. I would like to see you have probably 70% of that in the G fund, and I would have the rest. I would have the rest in the stock fund. Is that the S fund, or is that I think it's the S fund, right?
Okay, great. Well, yeah, I've got it all in the G fund right now. I've had it that way for the past year, which I realized that I've missed some uptick in the market last year by doing that. So, yeah, that's what I needed to hear was a current allocation mix. On that.
Yeah, that's what I would do. It's probably not the best time to go into the stock fund right now, because it's likely going to move down as soon as you put it in. So it might not be the best time, but I would be okay with taking, let's say, that 30% and put 5% of what the total that you have, put 5% in the stock fund today, now, and put 5% in a month from now, 5% again, 5% again, and wean in so that you catch some of the downtick as well, and wean it in gradually rather than put it all in at once.
Okay, wean it in there over time. Gotcha. Okay.
And until you get to 30%, and then hold tight.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, thanks for your time and the information this morning. You have a great day.
Bob, thank you for your service, brother. We sure appreciate it. Thank you. 866-300-9298. 866-300-9298 if you want to weigh in. 866-300-9298. Folks, the reason I say if you're already in, so if you're already in the markets, if you're already have a significant position in stocks, you need to cut it back. I believe that you need to have 50 to 60%, maybe a little more depending on your situation, in something as conservative as you possibly could, so you can minimize your loss on the downside. But I don't necessarily want you totally out. If you are already totally out, let's say you're 100% in money market account, that's a different story. Then at that point, I would say, just like I told Bob, is that Yeah, get in with, 20, 30%, but do it gradually. I think, the markets are still overvalued right now. They're high. They're going up right now. As a matter of fact, all the markets up dramatically. And but I would still want you to wean in, go in gradually if you're not in. So it makes a lot of sense. And that's why I said that to Bob. 866-300-9298. By the way, crude oil, 104.68. Not good news. It is moving upward right now. Let me go to Michael. Michael calling us from Florida. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Dan. How are you this morning?
Good.
Listen, I'm fixing to get laid off again. It's kind of getting a pretty good practice with me because of job changing, companies closing and moving and so forth. And I've got one 401k from a previous company, and I'm going to be getting another one from this company. And I'm hoping I'm just turned 60. I'm hoping to retire at 65, and I'm just not sure what I should do with this new one. Should I put it with my other 401k, or maybe find a new company to handle it to have my eggs in different baskets, or what's your advice there?
I would, Michael. What I would do is I would combine the two of them.
Okay.
Count for sure. Now, here's the thing. You bring up a good point. I don't want your eggs in one basket either. But having them in the same place is not your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Because you're going to have them in different things. You know what I mean? You're going to diversify it. So and it's much easier for you or a financial advisor to keep track of your diversification so you don't have duplication if it's all in one place.
Okay.
Because if you have it in two separate places, one guy might have you in stock funds, another person's going to have you in stock funds. You know what I mean? They're not going to be talking to each other. So I think you should have it all in one place. I'd roll it in together and develop your strategy from there.
And I can do that legally, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Once you leave, once you're no longer employed, then you can take your 401k, you roll it into an IRA, and yes, you can do that with both of them.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll just get in touch with the people that's got it now, and they should be able to handle it for me, right?
Yes, they should.
Yep.
Okay. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate it.
All right,
bye-bye.
Michael. Good stuff. That's it. I mean, folks, if you're happy with the person you have and, they're doing a good job for you, trust them to continue to do a good job for you, then, I'm all for what everybody says. We shouldn't have our eggs in one basket. In other words, we shouldn't have it all in any one particular stock. We shouldn't have it all in charitable gift annuities. We shouldn't have it all in oil or gold or silver or technology or whatever. We've got to be well diversified. Let me go to Brandon. By the way, 866-300-9298. Let me go to Brandon from West Virginia. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, Dan, how you doing?
Good.
Quick question there. I was laid off from a coal mine here in West Virginia. I don't know, man. It was a few months back, and whenever I was laid off, I had money in 401k. Well, I ended up getting another job, but my new job doesn't offer do anything with 401k. So I was wondering, it's just sitting there. I was wondering what would be the best option for me to do. That's all I've got. I'm 28. I've got about $4,500 in it, and I was just wondering what my best option would be.
Brandon, what you want to do is you want to take that and do as I just told Michael, roll that over into an IRA. So here's what you need to do. You need to open an IRA account. Now, if you want to, if you know a financial advisor or somebody you can trust and you want them to do it, then you would roll it over. They would roll it over for you. The other thing you can do is you can roll it over to a Timothy plan. It's a mutual fund company, biblically responsible. You can talk to them and roll it over to one of their plans. Or you can go to an E-Trade online and open an account online. It's very safe. And you just fill out a transfer form and they'll roll it over for you into your IRA on that account. And then you can buy some individual stocks. You can track with me or ask me at the time what might be some stocks to start going in, and put it in some good solid stocks and leave it sit. Hopefully you'll be able to contribute to it as often as possible, even if it's $25 a month, whatever you can do. It would be great if you could continue to contribute to it, and you should try to do that. But I would get it out of the 401k that it's in now. And if you really like that 401k and you like the company that it's with, of course, you can call them and they'll convert it to an IRA for you if you want to stay with them. But they would be your options. But you definitely, Brandon, you want to get control of it. You want it to be in your IRA account that you can put money into, that you can have some control over. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir, it sure does. I've heard you talk a lot about the Timothy plan, and I thought about looking into that. If I went in to do something with the Timothy plan, what do you think would be my best option for me at this point right now with the Timothy plan?
I would say, Brandon, that you put 10% into the Israel fund. I would put probably 20% into their growth fund, 20% into their growth and value fund, and I'd put maybe 10% in their short-term bond fund, and the other I would put into their strategic growth fund. And then I would forget about it or try to contribute as much to it as you can. Hopefully you wrote that down, but I think that would be a good plan. You're young enough that if you do that, you'll be in good shape. 866-300-9298. We'll be right back.